our next guest is the Emmy-winning co-creator, writer, and assistant coach on the show that won 7 Emmys. Watch new episodes of Ted Lasso Fridays on Apple TV+. Please welcome Coach Beard, Brendan Hunt. Well, congratulations on all the Emmys. That's a lot of Emmys to win.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Were you guys worried at all that because everybody's saying you're going to win, you think you're going to win, you go in, if you don't win, it's horrible. If you do win, it's like, yeah, that's what was supposed to happen.
Yeah, well, we got a couple early in the night, and so then it was like, okay, well, we're not going to get swept.
Right.
That's fine.
It set the tone, yeah.
And really the most important one for me, to be honest, was for Jason to win, because he's done such good work, and, you know, we're friends from way back. And once Jason won, then it was officially a good night for me, no matter what. In fact, I probably cared more than Jason did.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
That's nice. It's very sweet. But the big winner of the night was not the show. It was actually your outfit last night, because you were dressed beautifully as... It looks like Jason is trying to distance himself a little bit from you there.
Yeah, that's how our relationship works, pretty much.
How would you describe this look, Brendan?
Well, I just wanted to wear something that would honor the, you know, the English origins of our show. So I went for, you know, Mr. Peanut, Monopoly Man, cocktail party, Abe Lincoln vibes.
Yeah, well, honor it, you did. You really did. Did you meet anybody at the parties or whatever that you were excited to meet that you'd not met before?
A bunch, and it was cool, because, like, people are coming up to me, to tell me how much they like my show, people who I'm such a fan of. One slightly awkward moment was last night, ran into Barry Jenkins, director of Moonlight, Oscar-winning director, and Underground Railroad, and an early, like, Twitter advocate of the show. But when I meet him in the hall, I'm like 99.9% sure it's Barry Jenkins. And, like, people are watching us talk, and I'm not going to take this swing and be wrong if it's not Barry Jenkins. So it's like small talk, small talk, small talk. And at the end of it, he goes, well, great, love the show. Good luck tonight, Brett. I love him. I love Barry Jenkins.
All right, so you're equally guilty. And so you did go to the parties. This is maybe this is not a party. I don't know, because you're wearing a different outfit here. You changed.
Yeah, there were no major parties, but Apple threw like a thing for where we were staying at the hotel, so I was able to change clothes. And in last week's episode, we discover Coach Beard's party pants. So I was able to bring the party pants to the pants party.
You wore the party pants, yeah. They're good-looking pants. It was really like a third British invasion last night. It really was something else. Were you guys aware of that in the room at the time?
I mean, vaguely, because like they kept going to the Crown, who were like in London. You know, I'm like, well, why aren't we in London? But it's fun because, like, I mean, I love London. Like, part of why this is such a great job for me is because I've been an Anglophile since before I knew it was a word. You know, growing up with watching Monty Python all the time and the Beatles, and like there was a summer. I had a summer job one year where I flat out just pretended to be English for an entire summer.
What was the job?
So I was a tour guide in downtown Chicago for this company that had English-style double-decker tour buses. And at the time, I should be clear, I was like 16 going on 17. I weighed 90 pounds, 10 of which were orthodonture. And was generally just unhappy with myself, I guess, because I'm walking this job interview, and I'm like, well, they don't know me. I could be anyone. Heck, I could be English. Oh. And then this is like moment of truth moment as I go in there. It's like, you know, the lady's getting off the phone, and I'm waiting, and she hangs up, and I'm like, can I help you? I'm like, may I have an application, please? And then we're off. And like I had this whole alibi in my head where like I was born in America and my parents moved to England and then they got divorced and then we moved back, and that's why I don't have a green card, which apparently I forgot that you also need a frickin' passport, but no one asked me. Except one guy, like a month in, you know, Tom from Schaumburg, out of nowhere, was like, hey, so Brendan, where in England are you from? And like, my alibi went out the window. I just panicked. I was like, Manchester City. I did not know there was a famous soccer team by that name. I knew nothing about soccer. And he was happy with that answer. He goes, like, oh, Manchester, sure. But I'm still panicking. So I'm like, no, Manchester City. It's a small housing development just outside Manchester. It's quite new, actually, only the last 25 years or so. It's not on most maps. And no one questioned it. And so the moment of truth for it, though, was like my very, very last day, after 2 months on this job, my very last tour. And at this point, I'm just not having a good time because these people, like, I don't know them. I'm only 17. I don't, hang out with them after work. But essentially, they're my friends. And technically, every word I'm saying to them is a lie. And I'm also starting to think in an English accent, which is, of course, schizophrenia. So I'm about to start my very last tour. It starts at Fort Dearborn there, and the routine is I get off the bus and I hold out my hand for tips, and then people come on after that. And I get out for tips, and out of the corner of my eye, I see a beer-bellied man, in flip-flops and like white hair and V-neck T-shirt just barreling toward me. And I'm like, but just a moment, sir, I have to let the other people off first. And then I feel him staring daggers into my head as I collect the rest of the tips, and he just goes, where are you from? I'm like, and now the whole alibi comes back. Like, oh, well, I was born here, but my parents, we lived in England, and then we divorced, and if my English sounds a little bit American, that's probably why. He does not skip a beat. He's still staring right at me. And I was like, where in England are you from? I'm like, London, actually. Where in London? And here's where my knowledge of London failed me. Because I only knew one neighborhood in London, and it was the same neighborhood where my high school was in Chicago. So I figured they were probably very similar places. So I go, Hyde Park? And he says, I didn't know anyone lived in Hyde Park with the rabbits. Because in Chicago, Hyde Park is a lovely neighborhood where the Obamas met. In London, it's a frickin' park.
And he was mad, huh?
He was like, the game is afoot. He knew he would break me, and my whole body language just collapses, and he goes, now tell me, where are you really from? I'm like, sir, it was like, I lose my accent. I'm like, sir, it was a joke. It got out of hand. It's my last day. Please don't say anything. He's like, your secret's safe with me. I'm like, huh? And he goes on, and he takes the tour. He sits in the very front seat. I'm watching him like a hawk the whole time. I just want him to laugh at my tour one time, because he's probably friends with Monty Python. And he doesn't laugh at all. I'm just broken. The tour ends, and now I got to collect a tip from this man, but he's English. I know he's not going to tip me anyway. He comes down, and he puts 50 cents in my hand. And I'm like, and then he grabs my hand and pulls me uncomfortably close and gets right in my ear and says, next time, pick a real neighborhood, not Hyde Park. With the rabbits. And on he goes.
Wow, I wonder. I'm sure he didn't put two and two together, but wouldn't it be great to run into that guy now? Now that you're the toast of England. Are you the toast of England? Do they claim you as their own there now?
They're warming up to us.
They're warming up
a little bit. Yeah. It takes a while to get to those folks over there. They're very stubborn, but we're slowly melting their warm
now they
hearts.
may be cooling off based on that comment. Yeah.
Possibly.
Well, congratulations. And also you have a baby at home, a new one, huh?
Yeah. Thank you.
That's good, too.
Yeah. We had to have him in London, actually, because that's when we were shooting and, pandemic and all that.
Oh, so he will really be able to get on a tour bus in Chicago when he's a teenager.
Yeah. Oh, God, Jimmy, I never thought of it that way. I'm so proud. Oh, my God.
Wow. Well, congrats. The show is so funny, and you're great on it. Of course, it's called Ted Lasso. If you haven't seen it, Fridays on Apple TV+. Brendan Hunt, everybody. We'll be back with the Lumineers. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel, and this is The Internet. I made it myself. Hit subscribe if you like it.